Hi my lovelies, welcome back to another fabulous fragrance video. In this video, of course, as promised, I am going to review almost the entire Guerlain L'ART La Matière collection. I already reviewed the extrait fragrances from that collection, the 6 extrait fragrances. Check that video out. Here it is right there. I will link it down in the description box. But in that video, I promised you guys that I will also review as many perfumes as possible from the Eau de Parfum side of the Guerlain L'ART La Matière collection. So that's what I'm doing in this video. I actually have here 20 of the Eau de Parfum fragrances from Guerlain L'ART La Matière collection. So sit down, grab a snack, grab something to drink, and this is going to be a slightly more lengthy than usual video because I have almost 20 fragrances to review quickly for you. I will go as soon as possible. I'm not going to take too long on each fragrance. I'll just tell you the best ones that you should get if you want to have the best fragrances from this collection. So yeah, get your snack, sit down, relax, let's get started. So you guys, I am going to start with the 4 full bottles that I already have from the Guerlain L'ART La Matière collection Eau de Parfum fragrances. Now, like I said, there are 6 extrait fragrances in this collection that I already reviewed separately. Check that video out. This is the Eau de Parfum fragrances, the EDPs from the same collection. I have 20 here, I think. So let me start with one I just wore recently. Now look at that dent. I mean, I will say part of that dent, about that much, is because I have a decant of it as well. But this is a testament nonetheless to how much I love this fragrance. The funny thing about this, well, let me first tell you what it is. This is Guerlain Cherry Oud. The funny thing about fragrances, you guys, is that first impressions are not always the best. With fragrances, you have to let them sit. You have to wear them multiple times, at least a few weeks, before you can form a proper opinion about fragrances, which is why I don't really love giving you guys first impressions videos of fragrances unless it's a brand new release. I like to test them for at least a week, if not 2 weeks, before I tell you about my opinion of it. Now, same thing happened with this fragrance. So this is a through and through cherry oud fragrance. Those are the 2 notes you're gonna smell more than anything. I don't need to open the cap of this fragrance. This is, it's wafting out of here already. I mean, look at this. When I fan near it, the fragrance is wafting out of the here because, man, it's potent. Oh, even the cord here has soaked up the fragrance. Oh my God, this is so beautiful. You guys, at first, when I got this fragrance, I sprayed it on, and oh, to me, the first impression was, wow, this is too strong. This is a little too woody than I would like it to be. That was my first impression of it. I did smell the cherry very much. It's actually quite a sweet cherry fragrance too, but that woodiness kind of balances out that sweetness, you know, the woody woodiness. The oud in here is prominent, and it is, I don't want to necessarily say sharp, but it is a prominent oud. No, it's not your barnyard oud in by any means, but it is a cutting sharp oud. But the thing is, you guys, so I was wishing, gosh, I wish they had toned down the oud a little bit. I wanted to smell the cherry more. Well, time went on. I know I didn't grab it very much. Winter came, which is the perfect time for this fragrance. I'm telling you, do not attempt to wear this in warm weather. You will kill people. Like, I mean, it'll give people headaches or it'll be too overwhelming. This is a definite fall winter fragrance when it's cold out there. I would say super cold days, like imagine like a sub-zero weather cold day that no other fragrance will ever last or ever can be smelled day. This is the one you'd grab. This is the one you grab if you're going to a log cabin to do like a winter vacation, you know, you're going to Aspen, you know, like, you know, that type of fragrance. Like, it's great for that beauty. There's a certain level of coziness to this fragrance as well, and it is absolutely sultry. I never thought I would say that about this fragrance, that it is sultry, but there are some beautiful warm spices in here, including, I want to say, like spices like, you know, like cinnamon, cardamom, kind of like warm spices in here that are underneath like that cherry and oud that are just beautiful. Like, my mouth is actually watering. You guys, once I let this fragrance sit for a few weeks, it smelled different from what it smelled like initially. It's kind of like a fine wine. It matured and it just became that beautiful aged wine type of thing, like fragrance version of it. Now, like I said, I don't have to smell this. I can smell it right out of the cord here. It's absolutely gorgeous. It dries down beautifully on clothes. It smells so beautiful. I love the dry down in particular. The cherry is super prominent. It really gives me that cherry the way I want cherry, like sweet, syrupy, you know, slightly boozy, deep cherry, okay? Black cherry, that dark cherry, that's gorgeous cherry. I love it. It is one of the most refined, gorgeous cherry fragrances you'll ever get your hands on. I'm thinking, you know, when I first got it, I never thought I would even touch it very much. But now I'm thinking one day soon I'm gonna have to get it back up, okay? And I have 600 perfumes. By the way, did you miss my perfume collection video? 600 perfumes right back there, you guys. Just did a collection video. Check it out. That's the video before this one if you missed it. Then I come to my other friend, my beautiful Fève Gourmand. This is the replacement for Guerlain Gourmand Coquin. I have Fève Gourmand and Gourmand Coquin in my hands. I can't tell which one is which because they're not marked, because they're spray bottles. I have the big ones back there that are marked, but I can tell you just by smelling which one is Fève and which one is Gourmand Coquin, because I can already tell which one this is. Very easy to tell. Here's Fève Gourmand and here's Gourmand Coquin. Fève Gourmand, Gourmand Coquin, okay? Why? Because they're not the same. They're not the same. There is a very noticeable difference in the two. Anyone who tells you that they smell identical really don't know anything about fragrances. They just wear fragrances. I did a whole video comparing these two, Gourmand Coquin and Fève Gourmand. I will put it right here, the picture of it, and I'll link it down in the description box. I'm not going to take the time talking about the differences between the two, but I mean, I'm telling you, they are both beautiful. They both get compliments, but I will say that Gourmand Coquin, the original, gets more compliments than Fève Gourmand. And my husband adores the original, the Gourmand Coquin, a lot more. He likes this too, but not as much as the original Gourmand Coquin. So this is a perfume, so I'm not gonna talk about the Gourmand Coquin anymore because, you know, it's discontinued. This is what exists now. However, you can get Gourmand Coquin. I don't know if Steven still has stock, but Place Vendôme had Gourmand Coquin until recently, until I actually uploaded 2 videos and it sold out each time. So I don't know if he has any more stock left, but I will put Steven's information from Place Vendome down in the description box. So try it. I mean, ask him if he has any more. I actually have a backup because I quickly grabbed a backup before it sold out because I knew it would sell out after my video. But anyway, I'm not going to talk about Gourmand Coquin right now since it's technically discontinued. You know, even if Steven had it, you know, it's not really, it doesn't exist anywhere else anymore. Anyway, so this is what exists, the Fève Gourmand. It's a beautiful rose and chocolate and cacao type fragrance. There's a slight booziness about this fragrance. The main difference I noticed is in Fève Gourmand that the chocolate is a little bit more prominent than the rose, whereas in Gourmand Coquin, the rose is a lot more prominent, as much as the chocolate cacao notes, which makes it a lot more refined and sophisticated, and just the way it's blended, the original is beautiful. But anyway, I love this too. Has the same type of notes, almost exact notes. However, this smells different. Like I said, yes, there's a booziness to it. I feel like the alcohol, right, at first spray in this one, in Fève Gourmand, is a little bit more, you know, that alcohol vibe, whereas the original is a little bit less alcohol-y in the first spray. But anyways, Fève Gourmand is also a compliment getter. It is that beautiful rose and slight cacao chocolate sweet, little lacing of that gorgeous sweetness. It's absolutely beautiful. It's a masterpiece. I would call both of these fragrances masterpieces, okay, which is what Guerlain does best. All right, then we come to our OG stuff here. So this is the bottle that Guerlain had. So these are the B bottles, you guys. Before the B bottles, there were another type of bottles like this. These are old. So this bottle design has been discontinued, but obviously these two scents haven't been discontinued, Angelique Noir and Spiritueuse du Blé. So let me first review the du Blé because it is one of the most popular ones. Now I'm going to be running out of space on my arms. I might not be able to do all of them. This is a beautiful, slightly boozy, lovely vanilla fragrance without it being obviously in your face vanilla like some of the other designer vanilla fragrances tend to be. For example, Valentino Born in Roma Ontons, it's like buckets of vanilla right in your face. Slight bit of balsamic vibe to it too. Loads of vanilla and some beautiful florals. I believe there's like, you know, some florals like rose and ylang-ylang type things. Slight smokiness from like incense, you know, but it's very subtle, the incensey vibe. It's mostly, I feel like I get a little hint of like a slight booziness, but not obvious at all. Yeah, it is a beautiful vanilla scent, and Angelique Noir here is also vanilla, but this one is a little bit of a greenish vanilla. Let me explain to you what I mean by a greenish vanilla. I sprayed it a little over here away from the other one. Now this one is very interesting because this one, other than the, you know, good amount of vanilla in here, this has a bit of a slight green, almost kind of musky vibe from the Angelica note. So Angelica is this little plant, hence the greenness, that has a bit of like a root kind of smell to it, rooty, musky type of smell with a slight hint of green. So that Angelica note really adds this very special twist to this vanilla, Angelique Noir. This is a very popular Guerlain L'ART La Matière collection fragrance. So is Spiritueuse du Blé. I think Fève Gourmand is getting there pretty quickly. They're not very polarizing, whereas Cherry Wood, not very many people will test it out properly, give it the time to sit properly, you know, might make an opinion before they wear it properly, maybe, right? Maybe you don't like oud at all, no matter how well it's used. You know what I mean? It could maybe be polarizing, whereas whereas Double Vanille and Angelique Noir usually are crowd pleasers. Okay, let's move on to now my samples, reviewing all the other Guerlain L'ART La Matière collection fragrances. This one is Oud Nude, so I have a pretty big sample here. I'll put a picture of it right here, the bottle. So Oud Nude, obviously it's a tiny version. I love it. It's so cute. Oud Nude has a kind of a light lavender colored juice in there. So Oud Nude, I hear a lot of good things about. So this is actually going to be, as much as I don't like it, a first impression, only because I have not tested this fragrance before. So let me smell it. Ooh, this is, I can see why it's popular. It's beautiful. This has a almondy vibe to it with woodiness and vanilla, a slight bit of fruitiness in here as well. But it's, you can smell the oud, you can smell like sandalwood. It's got that beautiful woodiness, but it has a hint of that almondy smell, and the vanilla is very prominent. I think it has like oud, cedar, sandalwood, a lot of woody notes. And that vanilla, you can smell the vanilla. And it really, the almond, I'm getting the almond quite a bit in here. And I know it has beautiful florals like rose in there. Very, very beautiful. I don't know what kind of fruity note is in here. It might be raspberry, I don't know. But anyway, it is a beautiful scent. It's kind of like a woody vanilla with a little hint of nuttiness from the almond nuttiness, that very specific almond smell, with a little hint of fruitiness on the side. And of course the beautiful florals are adding quite nicely to it. Okay, then we have here Tobacco Honey. I know that this is also very popular. Actually, it's one of the best sellers, I believe, from the Guerlain L'ART La Matière collection. So here is the bottle and the juice color. As you can see, it's kind of like a honey ambery color. So let me, I love these deluxe bottles. I'm gonna use a different finger here, and I'm going to dab it away from the other. Oh, oh wow. I did not think I would like anything called tobacco. This is Tobacco Honey, remember? And you guys know I'm not a fan of tobacco note. I'm not. Unless it's done really well, and it is done really well in this. Oh, wow, this fragrance. Wow, leave it to Guerlain to kill it with even a less desirable fragrance note usually to me. Oh my gosh, how do you do a tobacco right, you know? Beautiful. I never thought I would love a tobacco fragrance. Yes, I do slightly smell the tobacco, but the tobacco is drenched in honey, okay? It has this beautiful vanilla honey sweetness to this fragrance. That tobacco just gives it a bit of an edge. It doesn't make it masculine the way usually tobacco makes it. It doesn't make it smell medicinal or smoky like tobacco might do sometimes. This is, wow, this is one of the best honey scents too. Like the honey note can be a little bit, can be not great sometimes if it's not done right? But my goodness, Guerlain, I gotta give you the credit, girl. This also has, I can smell very prominently some beautiful citruses, especially in the opening. It's a beautifully well-rounded honey tobacco smell scent. That honey is a gorgeous syrupy but floral vanillic honey scent with a little hint of tobacco, just giving it the right amount of edginess. I believe the vanilla in this one is deep. Why? Because it has vanilla and tonka bean, I believe. It's absolutely beautiful. I believe there's a little bit of oud in that one too, but like a teeny bit. You can almost not pick it up. Yes, there's that woodiness from that as well. Ah, beautiful. I am considering getting both the oud nude and the tobacco honey. Never thought in a million years I would be that much in love with something that has a prominent tobacco note, which by the way is super well blended. Yeah, you can pick up the honey tobacco, but it's so well blended into that beautiful syrupy floral vanillic honeyness. Then I have Joyeuse Tuberose. You guys, this one is obviously a tuberose scent from the L'ART LA MATIÈRE collection. You guys know I love tuberose, so I'm gonna bet and say, yeah, it's gonna be a love. This is a very fresh green tuberose, okay? So it's not what I was expecting, but it's beautiful. So it has a very fresh, almost in a way like the tuberose leaves would smell. So yeah, it smells like tuberose with a bit of the smell of the leaves. Slight bit of freshness from the leaves. And it also has jasmine and some other, I think, lily and stuff. So this has vetiver, amberette, and sandalwood as well in the base. So it's a beautiful sort of sensual dry down. Yeah, it's a greenish, beautiful tuberose. It doesn't have the usual bubble gumminess you get from like synthetic tuberose, and I'm pretty sure this is natural. Then I have the, this is one I've been waiting to get my nose on. Omcron de Ylang. You guys, this is a ylang fragrance, and boy, I have been wanting to smell a ylang fragrance from Guerlain. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna start spraying into the carton for all the samples. So let me smell this. Oh my gosh. Oh. This is literally spray of ylang is what it means, and yes, it is a spray of ylang. It is got the most beautiful raw natural ylang. Wow, this is what ylang smells like, the real flower. It's such a realistic, very beautiful natural ylang. No, you guys, oh gosh, it's beautiful. This is a bit of a honeyed ylang scent. Oh my gosh, it's got jasmine undertones. So you smell the ylang the most, okay? Very natural ylang. Picked right from the tree, kind of fresh, beautiful ylang, and then there's this brightness to it. It's like a bit of a honeyed ylang though. You can smell the jasmine in here. It is the ylang that is the queen here, and the jasmine you can smell too. Beautiful. Definitely getting a full bottle of that because I love ylang. And then I have Cruel Gardenia. You guys, this one is a gardenia scent, of course. There again, I love gardenia. I love white and yellow florals, so let me test this one out. There again, a very fresh, very light, almost airy, almost watery gardenia. Not your gardenia like the Chanel gardenia there I have. Chanel gardenia I have is a little more potent. This is actually a very fresh, light, airy gardenia. I'm not sure why it's called Cruel Gardenia because there's nothing cruel about this. The reason why this fragrance is so airy and light is because there's a lot of musk in here. And the gardenia is very natural, you know, light. And there's a bit of ylang, like a hint of ylang here, but I'm not picking it out. It's very much a light, white, yellow, floral type of fragrance, but mainly that gardenia scent, but it's very subtle. It's not like a strong gardenia scent because of all the musks that are in here. So it's a very kind of watery, airy, musky gardenia scent. Different from the gardenias I have. I'm not so sure though, the longevity is probably going to be problematic with that one. Projection is probably going to be problematic because it's probably going to sit closer to the skin. Then I have Épices Volées. You guys, this one is basically veiled spices. Is the meaning of it. So I'm gonna assume it's gonna be slightly spicy. So slightly or a lot spicy. Ooh, it is spicy. So now this one, because that fresh spices in here, every time you put fresh spices in fragrances, it tends to lean like that masculine, you know, towards masculine fragrances, smells, because you get a lot of that fresh type of spices in men's fragrances like Spice Bomb, for example, and they really complement like the conifer notes, for example. I'm willing to bet there's some kind of conifer note in here too, but what I'm smelling the most are fresh spices, not warm spices. There might be some warm spices too, but it's the freshness, fresh spices I'm smelling the most. And like a lot of the spice fragrances, this is super aromatic. It has other aromatic notes like, you know, lemon, bergamot type of, you know, fresh aromatics. It has Artemisia, I believe. There's that beautiful lemony, lime type of freshness from bergamot and lemon. And then it has the beautiful fresh spices with a slight bit of warm spices. And it has a sensual sandalwoody kind of dry down. Leans more masculine, but it's unisex. Not my favorite because it's just not my type. Then I have Cuir Beluga. You guys, this one is, whenever I hear cuir, I know it's leather. So it means beluga leather basically. It's definitely going to be a leather fragrance. I'm going to assume this is another one that leans like unisex or masculine, just from the way it sounds. But leather doesn't necessarily mean masculine though. Ooh, this is definitely more than what I was expecting. This is a very refined, luxurious fragrance, you guys. There's a syrupy sweetness to it, and then there's that beautiful suede note that's in here that gives it that luxurious leather, which gives it this very expensive, luxurious smell. And it has immortelle flower in it. It has like a bit of like a velvety, beautiful dry down, you know, with amber. There's this sweetness that you get from amber that's different, you know. It's kind of like a resiny sweetness, but I'm also smelling something syrupy. I think there's like tangerine or something like a syrupy citrus in here. There's loads of vanilla and beautiful, and a little bit of an almond nuance from a heliotrope, and that slight cola vibe you get from, you know, heliotrope. Oh, beautiful. It's a lot more than I expected it would be. Then I have Neroli Plant Sud. You guys, this one is a neroli fragrance, obviously. The name says it all. So I'm going to assume this is a beautiful citrus floral. Maybe there are other citrus florals in here too, like orange blossom. Let's see. Ooh, yes. It's that very, you know, very fresh, very like green nuanced citrus floral with that citrusy freshness, but floral, slight floral scent with that slight bitterness, almost of like the slight greenish bitterness to it, you know, like a leaf when you fold it, you know. Very much a fresh, super fresh neroli fragrance, very much like fresh picked from the tree kind of neroli. There's a little hint of herbaliness to it, like an herb, kind of like a, it's hard to explain, you know. If you know, like the Tom Ford Rose Prick has the same thing. This has turmeric a little bit, so it gives it a bit of a like a herbally vibe too, you guys. And it's got some spices like cinnamon that adds to it. And I was right, it does have, I think, orange blossom too, whether it's revealed in the notes or not. So it's a very fresh, citrusy floral with a slight green bitterness with the fresh picked neroli, you know, it's fresh picked citrus floral thing going on. And it has that slight herbally warm spiciness to it, if that makes sense. I love the freshness of it and smell of it. It's not particularly my type of fragrance for my personality, but some of you out there who love fresh fragrances would absolutely love it. And that one leans unisex as well. Next one is Bois d'Arménie. You guys, it means Armenian wood. Is it does it have wood that came from Armenia? I don't know. I'm definitely woody, I'm gonna assume. It is woody, but it's a kind of a honeyed fragrance though. Like a very, I'm smelling honey for sure. Right away, the honey sweetness, I got the honey sweetness right away, like a blast of honey. Apparently the perfumer wanted to kind of mimic the like Armenian paper. There is a paper actually smell to this, actually kind of like a slight library vibe underneath that honey nuance here. It's infused with warm type of vanilla accents. So yeah, that's probably where I'm getting the but I tell you though, I'm getting honey though. So this is supposed to be like sort of paper. You know how papyrus note smells? Kind of like similar this. You know, that woody paperness. And with some honey and vanilla accents. Of course, it also has this sort of resinous, ambery, benzoin-y vibe too. You know, that vanilla, on top of the vanilla, I can smell some resinousness to this fragrance as well. I mean, I like it. It's not my favorite. Then I have Santa Pao Rosa. So I'm gonna assume there's the Pao Santo, whatever that woody note that is probably in here. I'll assume that immediately. Let me spray it. Yeah, definitely Palo Santo, whatever that woody note is that it's very woody and fresh. So it's a fresh woody scent. There again, very unisex leaning masculine. Not my cup of tea. I love feminine fragrances, as you guys know. I like a feminine fragrance with a hint of masculine, you know, kind of like a woman's tuxedo, but not like too much into the masculine. I can also smell some spices, so that adds to that masculine hint. There's definitely like cardamom type of warm spices and fresh spices in here. Apparently there's also fig in here, although I'm not picking it up in particular. But there's definitely like sandalwood, Palo Santo. I'm gonna swear that this has Palo Santo, the woody note. But apparently this is supposed to have like a little bit of oud and myrrh. So I do get the little smokiness too in here. It's like a smoky woody. Palo Santo is another smoky kind of woody note as well. It has this sort of burnt smell. This doesn't smell burnt, don't get me wrong. You know, like that burning cherry fragrance from Guerlain, for example, how Palo Santo, because, you know, it complements the slight burnt, whatever. It's a very kind of refreshing, spicy, woody, fresh fragrance with a bit of smokiness. Okay, again, not my cup of tea, but beautiful scent. And each of these is a masterpiece, you guys. Any fragrance from this collection. And here is another one I know I'm gonna get a full bottle of. It's Jasmin Bonheur, which means jasmine happiness. So I hope it makes me happy. You know, I love a good jasmine scent. Oh my gosh, definite must have. Must have it, adding to the cart right now. This has that fresh picked jasmine scent. It's very hypnotic, bewitching, fresh picked jasmine. It's that night blooming jasmine, like the black jasmine that fills the air with its perfume at 4 in the morning. That jasmine this is. Ah, man, I can almost definitely smell powderiness in this. Slightly the sophistication. I'm gonna guess iris. This beautiful makeup lipstick kind of vibe in there with the powderiness, the definite iris I'm smelling. There's a bit of rose, I think. And there is a little bit of a honeyness, like a honey nuance in this. You guys know the Jasmin d'Ange by Dior? That is kind of like this, has a bit of a honey nuance, which comes from apricot. Same thing is in here. So there's apricot. Apricot can give you like a slight fruity honey nuance, you know, which like is beautiful with this type of bewitching jasmine scent. It's not like fecal jasmine at all. It's beautiful. Mwah. Ah, definitely getting the full bottle. Then next one is Musc au Très Bon. So it's gonna be like a white musk fragrance. Okay, just judging by the fragrance name. Let me spray this. Yeah, super musky, super airy, super light. It's got that sort of like super like pure musky, but very natural musky, but fresh. When you wear this, you'll smell like you smell like this naturally, because musk kind of mimics a nice body scent, like a skin scent. Smells like sexy skin, you know what I mean? So, and because this musk is super fresh and has a little almost salty hint to it, it's definitely gonna mimic sexy skin. Okay, I'm gonna definitely, I think, get this one too, although it's not usually what I'd gravitate towards, that like skin smelling type of fragrances. Glossier You, for example, is one of those fragrances along those lines. It essentially make you smell like you're not wearing anything, but you just like naturally smell good, you know? This has definite like powderiness to it, musky and powdery. It's got definite bit of white florals, which really always complement musk, and vice versa. Always complement powdery notes like iris too, musk I mean. It's very subtle, beautiful, smell like sexy skin almost. I can almost smell a little bit of like salty nuance in this too, and then citruses as well, slightly adds to the freshness. Maybe it's just like a citrus floral, like neroli, you know? It's very beautiful. It's very kind of milky musk, light musk, slightly salty, sexy skin type of fragrance. Definitely probably going to get that, because that's not usually what I get, but those are the kind of fragrances that really make you smell amazing, because you smell like you naturally smell like that. You know, you naturally smell like that. The next one is Rose Barbare, which means barbarian rose. Okay. What does barbarian rose mean? Is it savage? Ooh. This is beautiful, you guys. This is a... wow, what a different type of rose this is. There's a slight sweetness to it, like a honeyed rose nuance. Like it's like a honeyed rose. It's like a very like raw rose, you guys. I don't know how to describe it. There's an earthiness to it. There's always like patchouli type of earthiness. Really go with rose because it makes it smell like it was picked from the garden, you know. Somehow I understand why they named it barbarian rose, because it's a sumptuous rose, beautiful full petaled bodied rose. Very intense, slightly honeyed and woody, beautiful. Gonna consider getting that too. These are very expensive, so I have to pace myself in buying the Guerlain L'ART LA MATIÈRE collection fragrances, you guys. Last but not least, I have Iris Torréfié, which means roasted iris. It's obviously going to be a powdery iris scent, which I love. So feminine they are usually. Ooh, this is a very strong prescent iris. It's iris, it is, guys. Very lipsticky, very makeup-y vibes. In the extrait line of the same Guerlain L'ART LA MATIÈRE collection fragrances that I already reviewed, the 6 of them, has the iris fragrance there too. That one smells like this, but even better. So I'm probably going to get that iris because I'm already going to get that one. But this is also such a beautiful iris scent, very dripping feminine, very classy, very lipstick wearing 1940s gal type of fragrance. It smells like it has a leather undertone to it, very, very luxurious because of that. So it gives it a sexiness, a certain type of sexiness to it. So there's also a coffee note apparently in this fragrance, you guys, in this very powdery iris fragrance. It adds a very interesting touch. You know, Guerlain says it's like the lipstick mark on a coffee cup, you know, but I'm not picking up the coffee that strongly. It's very well blended, but what I'm picking up the most are those iris violet type powdery florals, that lipsticky vibe, you know, like the powdery makeup vibe. And this has vanilla tincture, which is the same vanilla note that Tom Ford new Vanilla Sex has, that very like distinct vanilla that adds to that, like that Play-Doh lipstick kind of vibe, you know what I mean? That very feminine, like woman wearing lipstick type of vibe. Also Opopanax in this fragrance, if I'm not mistaken. Opopanax is a resin, so there's this resin vibe because of it. So it actually smells like a sexy actress or somebody from the 1920s or something, one of those sexy, you know, red lipstick wearing women at some kind of like classy function having a cup of coffee, and she leaves a lipstick mark on the coffee cup. Yeah, it's just that type of vibe that it gives, you know. It's beautiful. But between Iris Planifolia, which is the iris fragrance from the Extrait line of Guerlain L'ART La Matière collection, I prefer that one over this one, but this is also really, really beautiful. They're like almost like shoulder to shoulder, you guys. This one is interesting with the little hint of coffee. Beautiful iris scent too, and I'm a sucker for that lipstick wearing woman sexy fragrance, sophisticated, luxurious, sexy woman vibes, you know what I mean? I almost forgot this. This is Frenchy Laurent. It's a beautiful, fresh French lavender fragrance, and it has a little hint of green with petitgrain and some fresh citrus notes. It's absolutely beautiful and comforting. It's a great one to wear to bed. Or a spring summer type fragrance, you know. Steven from Place Vendôme was very kind to make an actual decant and send it to me. So yeah, that is it, you guys. I just reviewed, I think, 19 or 20 fragrances from the Guerlain L'ART La Matière collection, Eau de Parfum fragrances. The Extrait ones I already reviewed a separate video, like I said. So which ones will I buy out of the ones that I just reviewed? I'm definitely my number one, I think, is going to be, I'm definitely getting the Jasmine Bonheur, because oh my god, that one is gorgeous. I'm definitely getting the Jasmine one. And then I'm getting the Ylang Ylang one, the Ambrone d'Ylang. I'm definitely getting that as well. The Ylang Ylang and the Jasmine, I'm a sucker for those two notes. You know that. Those are a must for me from this collection. And I'm definitely getting the Musk one as well, because that's gonna really make me smell like I naturally smell good. And Rose Babar, that one is a very interesting honeyed rose that I really am interested in. However, Rose Cherie, which is the other rose one, I have actually misplaced my Rose Cherie sample, which I had a Rose Cherie sample. It is actually what replaced the French Kiss, I think, from the same collection. I actually ordered it and it's on the way. Probably arrive actually day after tomorrow, I'm pretty sure. But it's a beautiful rose fragrance, just like French Kiss, if you guys have that fragrance. So that I already ordered. It's coming on the way. I will put a pinned comment down below with what Rose Cherie smells like for you guys. I'm definitely getting these two. I'm surprised by the Tobacco Honey and Oud Nude. Never thought I would like these just by reading the notes and seeing them and knowing these notes. But they turned out to be two that I am very interested in. So I'm probably going to definitely get like the Jasmine one first. Then I'm going to get the Ylang Ylang one. And then I'm going to get the Musk one. And probably Tobacco Honey and Oud Nude. Then at the very end, if I feel like at some point, I'll add the Iris and the Rose Babar. Of course, Rose Cherie is already on the way. So yeah, you guys, that is it. What do you guys think of the fragrances that I just reviewed from the Guerlain L'ART La Matière collection, which is a masterpiece of a collection, you guys. I'm telling you, everything from that collection you can't be disappointed with. Depending on what you're looking for, obviously you have to pick the ones that most aligned with the type of notes you like. But in terms of each individual fragrance, it's a masterpiece. So let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. I hope you enjoyed this video and it was useful to you. Please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, ring the notification bell so you will never miss any of my videos, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. And also head on over to my makeup channel, my beauty channel, Cleo Luxe Life. You know, the next video on Tuesday is going to be This makeup that I'm wearing, this is the Natasha Denona Berry Pop collection, so stay tuned for that on that channel. I will see you guys in my next video.